All right. Do you wanna do an introduction to this shit or what?
You're the one that came up with the idea for this show, so why don't you do it, Taylor?
Sure.
I ain't doing your work for you.
Fuck off. Welcome, everyone. I don't know which camera to look at. There's like 3 cameras. Welcome to Untitled Movie Review Two Tired Geeks video project.
That is a mouthful.
I have. I don't. Do you have a title?
Do I look particularly trashy enough to be rich in this one?
There's only 2 of us, so we gotta be Mike and Jay. I'm the alcoholic, so I'm Mike.
What does Jay act like? I can't remember.
Sex pervert? Weirdo? He likes weird sex movies.
I like how that one's catching, like, most of the room in it.
I'll try. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with that one. The third camera might not work out, so anyways,
You can always zoom in on it, too. Do zoom-in shots on that
That's
one.
true. Just like the scene.
All cameras are for Clayton.
Oh my god! It's just like the one scene in the one movie we watched where a character died and it dollied in. It was hilarious. Anyways, so we watched 2 movies. We kind of just came up with this whole thing on a whim.
Yeah, because Taylor wanted to rip off Red Letter Media, so yeah.
Yeah, we're honest about it.
We're all about non-original content on this channel, so.
We watched 2 movies. Watched Dungeons and Dragons movie.
The original one, that is. The first one.
Yes, the first one with Jeremy Irons in it. It was amazing.
The only reason to watch it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And we watched Mazes and Monsters with the young Tom Hanks.
Fucking depressing.
It was. We'll get to that when we get to it, but it was kind of depressing. So I'll let you. We'll do one each. You sort of start us off, sort of introducing the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh, I get to do this. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons follows the
adventures
of Jeremy Irons as he tries to find out how to get a new manager because apparently this one's putting him through shit, and also he needs to pay for his new castle.
Yep.
So okay, all jokes aside, it's like these the two thieves or rogues or whatever.
We tried to like put it in Star Wars
I spent most of my time trying to put it in D&D terms, proper D&D terms. I know how to do that, so.
Because he's a nerd.
Nerd.
I'd like to. Well, we both are. Let's be honest here.
Yes.
But I'd like to ask, how overall accurate would you say the world is? The things are to D&D? Because
do you want me to go into this? Because I'll take a moment.
Give it like just a brief. Give it in brief, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Let me throw it. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm just gonna go with this shit. Okay. So basically, when this movie came out, for the D&D rule sets, 3.5 was the one that was out. 3 or 3.5, somewhere around there. And I would say that there was some intermingling. You could kind of append things from 3.5 onto what was going on. I was going through it, appending stuff from 5e because I know that one better than 3.5 anymore, so... that one was working out, and it was actually kind of entertaining how it worked, but there's no.
So basically, no. I think
it did, but it didn't. It was like they had a passing knowledge of D&D, and then they just said, "Oh, that's all we need to know. I skimmed the book. Let's go."
It's like I think I said this somewhere in the watching process. That it's more like fantasy Star Wars than it is like D&D.
Yeah, no, I could go with that. Add a few blasters and lightsabers, and you got it.
Yeah. So you said you watched this movie, like, in the theaters?
No, I got a home video.
Okay.
Yeah, I rented the movie, so. This is back when rental was a thing. I'm old.
My grandmother owns the movie, and I watched it, like, 10 years ago or something.
Yeah,
it was like, what?
Anyways.
Clayton had a thought, but I think it was, like, after Lord of the Rings I watched this. So there's...
Which is funny, because it came out before Lord of the Rings.
It's a year before Lord of the Rings, and it's by New Line. It's the same production company.
They obviously upped their game after that.
It was probably in...
Peter Jackson came in with money and was just like, I want to make the Lord of the Rings, and it was like, oh my god, this is more money we've ever seen before.
It was probably like... Because it would have been in production at the time of when the movie was coming out, when Dungeons and Dragons was coming out. It's a magical MacGuffin sort of movie. Mm-hmm. There's like 30 magical MacGuffins, and we all kind of lose track of them.
There's not 30. There's like 3 rods.
There's like a jewel as well, and there's a map or a
the jewel, which literally gets forgotten until the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then it like and then it glows. The end of the movie's confusing. We'll get to that eventually. But the whole kind of movie is a little bit like you start to wonder like where you're at, because it just feels like just a series of scenes. Mm-hmm. It keeps going, it keeps you entertained, but it just feels like a series of scenes and things that are happening.
Honestly, everything that happened then there, I could see being semi-viable in an actual D&D campaign if the people were playing the characters like that. That's fine. But in a movie, you expect it to be a bit different.
Yeah, there's like action sequences, and there's like a maze. It's not really a maze, it's just like a series of puzzle rooms.
Deadly puzzle rooms.
Yeah, they rip off Indiana Jones.
Big old blade right up to his nuts on the first one.
That was dangerous.
It is. That's why you send the rogue into a maze.
But you have like a moderate sized cast of characters, and we don't really like any of them. Marlon Wayans is carrying those scenes on his shoulders.
Marlon Wayans was actually, ironically, one of the funnier parts of the thing. I did not expect much from him.
No, because I watched.
Because he was playing. He wasn't playing a D&D character. He wasn't playing a fantasy character. He was playing Marlon Wayans in a fantasy setting.
He's playing Chris Tucker as Marlon Wayans as Chris Tucker.
Marlon Wayans is Chris Tucker playing Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's about it. I watched the movie as a kid. I was expecting him to be like the Jar Jar Binks of this movie. But he's not that bad.
No, actually, we got a good few laughs out of him.
He's stupid, but he's not terrible. The main character is terrible. He's like bred the human being.
He's... I'm pretty sure this was like his first movie, wasn't it?
I don't fucking know.
If it wasn't, I'm fucking up the game now.
A lot of these people were acting veterans, or at least a few films under their belts.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, it is a very generic series of people.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. We like the dwarf.
The dwarf was top notch. If I thought to myself, a drunk, crazy dwarf, that'd be him right there.
No, he was funny.
He did that perfect.
There was a scene where he
also hates elves. That's also a
extremely based.
Sorry, the scene.
There's the scene where they first meet him and he gets his helmet knocked off by a crossbow bolt.
To which he has an epileptic fit.
Yeah, I don't know. Was that in D&D? Is that a thing in 2nd edition, maybe?
You need to understand that things like that are flavor.
Okay.
That comes down to how you play your character.
Okay. So it's
apparently that person was autistic.
I wonder, is the movie... Because most of the people don't feel like they're playing real characters. The villain's over-hamming. Like, both of the villains are really, really hamming, including Blue Lips.
No, yes. Damodar.
Damodar. I was going to say Damodar, but no, you're right. I don't fucking...
Dumbledore's.
Sure, it's Dumbledore. That'd be entertaining.
Dumbledore. Dumbledore with blue lips.
So fucking stupid.
You were picturing it, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Of course you were.
But they're both like overacting, and like everyone else is underacting, or like they're being stereotypes. Like, is the idea supposed to be that they're like characters in a campaign? Is that maybe the intention? I don't know.
That probably is. They're probably supposed to be characters in a campaign, but the thing is that when you have a game like D&D where it's supposed to be, it's player driven.
Yeah.
So yes, the DM creates the world, is everything that is not the players. That doesn't mean the DM is telling the story completely.
Yeah.
Where the players go and what they do, that drives it.
Yeah.
And they could go, I'm saying this as a DM, you could literally be like, okay, here's this great world and everything, and they're like, oh, why don't you look at that thing over there? And they're already 5 miles off that way, going after a mushroom.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the commentary. There's moments, too, where, like, any reasonable player would do this. Like,
yeah, it's true, exactly. Well, yeah, right near the end there with the fucking...
Yeah, the main character gets the big magical MacGuffin that lets him control dragons. That's Jeremy Irons' motivation, by the way, is he wants to control dragons.
The magical MacGuffin.
The one of 3.
Yes.
Or 4 or
the
5.
The childlike empress has one. Jeremy Irons has the other one.
They want the bad dragon dildo that lets them control dragon.
It's truth in advertising? I don't know. But
they want to be able to control dragons. They have to get the bad dragon dildo.
I went all fantasy Peter and said that's cruelty. That's inhumane because dragons have their own minds and are very intelligent creatures.
Not in this setting.
Apparently not. No.
Apparently in this setting they're all just retarded.
Which could be brought in from older D&D. I'm not sure if dragons in D&D have always been intelligent creatures, or if it was more in recent ones. So.
I don't know. Considering it's mostly ripping off Tolkien and northern Nordic medieval literature, probably they're always intelligent.
Yeah. Well, like I said, even now, not all of them are super intelligent.
No.
Some are just big old feral beasties. They can talk, but they're not super smart.
Speaking of the dragons, they look fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, they do.
This is an ugly, ugly movie. Not just in terms of the CG. This is so fucking ugly.
We got off track though about what the players would do in a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that when given this chance, he said, "Hand over the MacGuffin."
Yeah, we got.
Or I'll kill the woman.
Yeah, he has hands over the MacGuffin.
Was it the woman or was it Snails that he had? I can't remember.
No, Snails had the scroll.
The scroll, right.
See, this is the problem with too many MacGuffins. You get confused.
Too many MacGuffins.
And this movie.
But anyways, yeah, hand over
the
the bad dragon dildo, or I'll kill this person.
I'll make her take the bad dragon.
You have my word.
I don't believe this guy.
I have my word. This smirk does not mean I am going to lie. Give him the I mean, why would you not just try to summon a red dragon right there?
Yeah. Might as well give it because he's stupid and he's the main character, so he doesn't want to hurt his friends and so on and so forth. And now he's gave the bad guy the thing they need.
Mm-hmm.
Because in real life, if I was
my party in this situation, if they had been dumb enough to go through it this way,
yeah,
would have literally been like, I summon a red dragon.
Yeah, I feel like that's what most people would do.
Yeah.
That's what I do in like a D&D game. It's like, yeah, screw it. If I live and everyone else dies, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna summon a red. That'd be cool. Because that's just a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So why not do it? There's so many moments, yeah, where it feels like if it was like a campaign to be really railroady.
Yeah, it would be very railroady.
Either that or the players have no.
Again, it's kind of hard for it not to be that way.
No.
Because it's a story being told on video.
It's
how could it
different.
not be a railroad situation?
Yeah.
Because that's how they gotta do it.
But anyways,
I want to see them go off and do random shit. Okay, I'm gonna go to the market and I'm gonna intimidate this merchant to sell me stuff.
that Dungeons and Dragons would probably lend itself more to like a TV series and that sort of.
They made one.
Yes, I don't know how good it was. Probably wasn't good.
Animated.
I know.
I don't think it was very good.
Did you watch it or no?
I watched the first episode.
The story exists to get people to places and to have different.
Yeah.
It's like a theme park sort of.
Whereas in D&D, you're building a world. And the story arises from the world and the players doing it.
Anyways, back to the dragons.
They're horrible. Let's move on.
This is not just the CG. This is such an ugly, ugly movie.
Yeah, the CG was quite ugly. Even on the physical things, like actual setting,
it's
sets
so
and stuff.
cheap.
Well, not just that, but there's literal artifacting on the fucking things, like the video quality for it.
It's not like a good-looking movie. Like, there's no like color. It's so brown.
Well, there's colors,
gray.
but yeah, they're very dull.
Yeah, and there's no like.
I think the most bright colored thing was the bad dragon dildo.
Or the blue guy.
Blue guy? Oh, the purple guy, you mean?
The one with
the eye?
Yeah, the fourth
he's
eye.
purple.
Okay,
he was bright purple.
Anyways, I'm gonna get film nerd on you here for a second.
Oh god.
I'm gonna do this. The cinematography is hideous. It looks like it's such an ugly movie. They never.
We went into this a little bit when we were watching Mazes and Monsters.
Yeah, they never. There's no moving the camera. It's always
still shots.
It's so still. Like the one.
If there is movement in the camera, it's usually watching one of the CGI monstrosities.
Yeah, the only shot that I remember where it doesn't just feel like oatmeal, like the visual equivalent of oatmeal was like the scene. Spoiler alert! Nobody gives a shit. Where Snails gets brutally murdered.
Yeah.
In a very funny way, and then you had like the really intense dolly shot on Ridley, and you go no, and he fucking loses it, and it's so funny. But like it's the one instance of camera movement.
Let him go first, and it's yours.
I don't know what that gauntlet does. Looks like it has like holes for something.
Yeah, I think it probably just looks cool. Oh no!
I'm just gonna say it. The black man died first.
He did.
Yeah, one of the main instances. Oh god.
It is. I mean, it's kind of terrible. There's like. It's both not as bad as I remember and both worse.
Yeah. In fact, I think I enjoyed it more now than I did the first time.
I think that probably helps because it's older.
It helps we were taking the piss out of it while
every
going.
film was improved by taking the piss out of it. To be fair,
exactly.
When you're sitting there and you make fun of it, and you're throwing spoons at the TV or whatever.
Well, we weren't doing that.
This isn't the room.
If we had spoons, we would have been, but no.
But yeah, it's like there's like I wouldn't say there's any good scenes.
Carefully hitting, you're not about making the camera bounce.
I would say there's no good scenes. I would say there is a like.
No, I would disagree.
What scene is good?
Everyone with Jeremy Irons.
I was gonna say there's no good scenes, like overall stuff, but good performances. Jeremy Irons is fucking hilarious.
Every scene he was in was enhanced.
He goes like this, and he's always talking so excitedly. He's
like he's gargling while he's talking. Oh!
Full on. Hands moving. Full on. Like, this man put 100... shout out to Tom Baker for being the only good actor in the entire thing.
It's so weird, because, like, he ends the scene, and he's there. He's just there, and he's like an elf dude.
Let me just say... We love Jeremy Irons for how over the top he is. Yeah. That doesn't mean he was acting well.
No, that's like...
No, it was crazy, stupid acting. But Tom Baker was acting like this was a serious, proper movie. Yeah. He acted well, good voice delivery.
He's the only person...
I believed him to be an old elf.
Yeah, he's the only person in the film where I believe that he is the character...
I didn't believe him to be old elf. He's Doctor Who, but, never mind.
He's the only character where I believe he is what he is.
Yeah.
It's so weird. For like 5 seconds, the movie gets really good. Because Tom Baker's on screen, there's just like this...
I did a double take. I didn't even remember he was in the fucking movie. I didn't know who Tom Baker was the first time I watched it. So
you fucking nerd.
I didn't get into fucking. I didn't get into fucking Doctor Who until like later life. So.
Do you have anything? Do you have any other points you wish to make?
Not really. It's kind of trash.
It's just kind of...
It's trash. It's hot garbage. It was entertaining. Yeah, I'll admit it. I think it's more entertaining because watch it with somebody and you make the jokes about it. Yeah. It's a good movie to riff on.
Oh yeah, it's a perfect movie to riff on.
Yeah. But by yourself watching this movie, nah, fuck that.
Would you watch it again with, like, I feel with more people?
With more people? As long as everybody was up to riff on it and didn't want to sit there and go, shut up guys, I want to watch the movie.
Is trying to actually watch the movie as like a serious film.
Although I stopped you a couple times because I wanted to hear Jeremy Irons. But that's understandable, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about where they stole scenes from The Phantom Menace, where there's just like, where the Empress is blah, 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 politics and things with a bad accent.
Was it Phantom Menace or one of the other ones?
No, that's Phantom Menace is where it's at its worst.
Right.
It's just talking about like the trade taxation disputes and shit. It's basically, it feels like that. Oh yeah, like the sort of like main world building thrust is that the magical people are superior to the common people.
Yeah, mages, and I hate the fact they call them that because never once, as far as I know in D&D, is a magic user called a mage. But we'll move on from that.
But like, it's like a big thing, and they're blah blah blah. Mages are not. We must make them equal, and everyone's just fucking. It's and then Jeremy Irons comes in, and he's all camp, and he's just having a great time, and it's so
brightens up the room.
He really does. Jeremy Irons brightens up our world. I said that in the worst way possible. That's the best part.
Phrasing.
Yes.
But anyways.
He saves those scenes. They're funny because they're basically just scenes from The Phantom Menace.
Basically, and replace Jeremy Irons with Palpatine.
Yeah.
With what's his name?
Ian McDiarmid.
Ian McDiarmid. Yeah. Literally, it's just that. It's just like just putting him. An overdramatic Ian McDiarmid in there.
Yeah.
And Ian McDiarmid was rather overdramatic in parts too. So.
Mostly in Revenge of the Sith, but anyways, off topic.
We're trying to talk about something better. Star Wars.
I'm watching, like we're watching the film, and I think it was this one I said I'd literally rather be watching anything else. Like I'd rather be I want to watch Fellowship of the Ring. That's what this makes me want to watch Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah. No, I'm in. I'll watch Lord of the Rings anytime.
Lord of the Rings is great. Lord of the Rings is great. You don't have to be drunk. You don't have to be high. You don't have to be with friends. You can just sit down and just watch the film, and it's so good. So good. Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons is not though.
No. Like I said, to answer your earlier question, because I didn't really, I was in a larger group there and watching it like that. Like I said, as long as they're willing to riff on it and nobody wants to watch it seriously, I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Okay.
You can make more fun. You can make more fun for yourselves if different minds are working on the task.
Because that was going to be my sort of concluding question was: would you recommend the film? But of course, it's yes, but I'd probably agree with you. Is yes, but little asterisk only if you're with a bunch of other people and you're willing to riff on it.
Yeah.
But not like It's not like a Neil Breen movie or like The Room where you can get like a whole bunch of people and you can watch it a bunch and you'll riff on it more and more and you'll find
Samurai
different
Cop.
things. Yeah, it's not like one of those. It's just kind of generically bad.
If you're in the mood for just a schlock movie, go for it.
No.
Don't go in expecting a serious movie. If you go in expecting it to be trash, a fun, hot trash, you're in.
Because like half the cast members seem to think that's what they're in, is they know they're in trash.
So they don't just think it; they know they're.
So they're either overacting or underacting. Like there's no middle ground.
No. And you'd say you agree with me on.
Yeah, as long as you got enough people and you're willing to riff on it.
Yeah.
Watch it in an ironic sense. Don't watch it unironically.
Oh no, God no.
And now I think we're ready to move on to the this is gonna be my hot take.
This might be the longer one. Who knows?
This is my hot take. The better of the two films. Kind of. Okay, Mazes and Monsters, 1982.
Came out before this one, obviously.
Quite a
the
while.
other one,
Tom Hanks movie, apparently based on a book. It's the Reefer Madness for tabletop gaming.
Isn't that what somebody said in the fucking comments?
Oh, that's an old adage. Is that it's essentially a moral panic film.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when everyone thought that D&D was satanic, and then it's weird. You get these moral panics every like couple decades or so about the new thing. It's always how it's going to be.
Rock music, it's going to lead you to the devil.
Rock music, and then video games and tabletop games and all.
Tabletop games has been ubiquitous on that thing for a long time. It's only in recent years that it's become the norm.
Yeah, that people are willing to accept it. Of course, it's
rock music. Well, everybody that grew up listening to rock music is now the parents, and they're like, rock music.
Yeah, pretty much. But basically it's about these four friends, and they're in college, and they've all got deep psychological issues. This is a really psychological
Meet
film.
Tommy, he's level 9.
Oh, Robbie's level 9. I'm level 9.
Was it Bobby or Tommy?
Robbie.
Was it Robbie? Okay.
We watched this like 2 hours ago.
I remember nothing.
The four friends, and they've all got serious psychological issues.
Yeah, underlying, yes.
Yeah, and they made up and they play Mazes and Monsters in college.
Totally not Dungeons and Dragons.
No, because it's not the same thing. They can say it. Because they can say it, so it's not the same thing. Exactly. So,
basically, from the sounds of it, they each get scolded by their parents as they're being dropped off to college.
Yeah.
About, wasting your time with that game and stuff like that. Yeah. One of these people being Tom Hanks.
Who is in one of his first films, I guess.
Yeah. Another one of them being a guy named JJ who wears a different hat every time you see him.
Yeah, this is a weird gimmick that the film never brings up.
He kind of stops halfway through and then he starts doing it again.
Yeah, his first scene, he's wearing like a World War I German helmet, and then he's wearing like an aviator's cap. Yeah. And he's wearing like a bowler hat. It is so strange. It is so fucking strange.
Don't forget the cowboy hat.
He's wearing the cowboy hat. It's really, the film never comments on it. I don't know if it's supposed to be symbolic of something.
The best we could come up with, I think, was that it was supposed to be symbolic, like it was a coping mechanism for something like that.
Because the point in the film where he stops wearing is when he becomes like the new.
He gets with his
maze
group
controller.
Yeah, maze controller.
Yeah, he gets like confident in himself and his group, and then then once things start to break up, and then he puts the hats back on.
Yeah.
Maybe we're reading too much into it.
Starts getting shady. I mean, we could read a lot of stuff into it, and I'm sure that's what they intended us to do. Is to read into this.
It's a made-for-TV movie. I don't think they cared that much. Whatever.
Whoever made it, probably the person who came up with it, like the book.
Nah.
I believe the hat thing was in the book too. I'm betting that it's in the book.
I can believe it.
But I believe the person who made that had an agenda and wanted to push it and was like, believe this, read into it, however you like, kind of thing like that, and it's all that.
It isn't a very agenda-filled film.
Oh, very much.
Because the idea is Tom Hanks goes insane. Like, he has weird dreams about his brother's probably dead, and he wants to see his brother, and he plays like a cleric or something. Like, he calls himself a holy man.
A holy man, which is cleric.
Essentially cleric. And he starts to go a little bit wild. They go like LARPing in a cave, and
yeah, these dangerous caverns outside of town that
totally aren't just like a rock door in the middle of the
outside.
woods.
Yeah, it's just a fucking fake rock thing with a few faces.
It's
so stupid.
It looks terrible, but like the copy we watched was on YouTube because it was like 40 years old.
You can watch this entire movie on YouTube. It's there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but
just well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But like, In terms of visually, I'm gonna be my film nerd again. It looks, in my opinion, despite the very low quality, if we get like a transfer from the original negative or something, this would be a much better looking movie than the actual Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, so you're saying if it's a bit clearer, a bit cleaner picture?
If we could get like a 4K, 2K transfer. This is a cult film to some extent, so it's probably something.
This probably only exists on YouTube now. I'm going to tell you, there's probably not a hard copy of it anywhere.
Oh no, there's DVD copies out there.
Is there actually?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Somebody, I think, probably snatched the rights up. Oh, Tom Hanks is in this, and then just distributed it. It's like that poster I showed you earlier, where it's more older Tom Hanks, and they make it look more serious.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you showed me that. That's really weird that they put an old, more 20-something Tom Hanks in there.
I'd say like 30 or 40 something. Like they're trying to make it look like a respectable film.
Yeah.
But anyways, they start LARPing, and Tom Hanks basically goes insane, and he thinks that like a minotaur or what
it was like a lizard thing. They had a name for it, but I don't remember it. So it's like a lizard.
Or something.
Grobnak or something. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's a lizard person kind of thing. It's a like really cheap fucking it's like costume.
It's like somebody.
We're talking. I was gonna say it's somebody like in a kaiju costume, kind of thing, like that kind of thing.
It looks cheap, but they keep it in shadow, and they lit it like it looks. They do the best they can with their like $20 budget.
Might have been Soy's version.
I don't know. But hey, he starts going insane, and he abandons the group, and he breaks up with his girlfriend because his character comes to him in his dreams and tells him he has to be celibate, and he has to be a holy man. He has to be a holy man. So he starts to go a little bit crazy. This is like an hour into the movie, by the way, because like nothing happens in the movie.
Really, not much. It's just them doing stuff. It's a lot of establishing shots of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of like character sort of scenes. There's a scene there's a montage where the main character, where Tom Hanks and his girlfriend, they get together and they go on dates, and they're like jogging through the park.
Yeah. It's with romantic music.
Yes, with romantic music. So you know we're supposed to care about these characters. Frankly, I just like JJ.
The hats.
It's all the hats.
Yeah,
it's all the hats. But eventually, Tom Hanks leaves in the middle of the night. He's standing. I crack up just thinking of the image.
Are you thinking of when he goes off?
When he's in the party. When he's at the party. Where he's wearing like a bed sheet and he's.
Well, I think he's supposed to be dressed up as a holy man or whatever.
He's in
but
he's
wearing
cosplay,
a bed sheet. Yeah.
And he's just standing there.
His homemade cosplay.
He's standing there apart, just going.
Yeah, everybody else is dancing, having a great time, and there he is in the corner.
A guy looks at you into the camera. Welcome to the party.
Well, I thought you said that was JJ.
Yeah, it was JJ.
It's JJ that did that. Yeah.
I forgot. It was, but then he wanders off and then he goes to New York. Well,
I mean, they're in New York State, I think, so.
Yeah, there's like a New York City montage earlier in the film.
Yeah.
And for the credits, and then, I don't fucking know. They probably filmed somewhere in there. Sort of in that area. He goes to New York, he meets the King of France as a homeless man.
Yeah, it's just a homeless man that came across somebody crazier than he was.
It's like I'm going to be my literary self here for a second. I think the idea behind that character is supposed to be like, oh, this is what he could become if he doesn't stay away from these dangerous things.
Except for the fact he's still completely delusional and doesn't see it that way.
Yeah.
He goes like, I am so-and-so, the holy man.
I am Pardue?
Pardue, that's what it is, Pardue, yeah. The holy man or something like that, and he's like, I am the King of France, my liege.
There's a scene where he stabs some punks.
He goes. Wrench. Yep. We called one punk Wrench, the other one Louis.
Wrench and Louis.
Wrench and Louis. Yeah, he stabbed people. That's one of the few points where he actually comes to from his little psychosis.
Yeah, he's got like the blood on his hands.
And those are the parts that we, being the horrible people we are, we laugh because he calls up the chick there and.
Yeah, he probably seems to have a moment of clarity.
Hello?
I have a collect call from Robbie Wheely. Will you accept the charges?
Yes. Robbie?
Hey, I'm in New York.
New York?
That's what I feel when I get to New York. I'm in New York! I just killed a guy.
All right. Where are you exactly?
There's blood on my knife.
Knife! What happened?
It's on my hands. I think I killed somebody. I know I killed somebody.
Robbie, just tell me where you are.
And it's like a parrot. It's like if we were. It's like if they threw us into the phone booth and they're like, okay, act sad, and then there's.
It's gonna be okay. Okay.
It was very, very funny. And he wanders off, and then he goes to the World Trade Center.
Yeah, it ends up anyway. So they a little bit. Let's not fast track that fast.
No.
There, it's basically they find out he's there. They set off for New York.
They've got like his
but he
maps.
keeps wandering, and that's actually when he meets
the homeless guy.
But
on the way too, they've got his maps.
The homeless guy tells him about the Twin Towers. So this is how old this is.
Yeah, because Tom Hanks has like the maps that he made up of his campaign.
He didn't have them with him though.
No, but he has them sort of in mind. I think he has the Great Hall, and his brother's name was Hall. Is presumably the idea. And there's the two towers, and they're like, oh, maybe that's his parents. I don't know.
They were going way too depth when it was very literal.
Yeah, maybe like subtly, psychologically speaking, he was keep that in mind. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? We're reading too much into it.
This is a deep metaphorical film. Yeah, he's wandering around, and they're trying to find him.
There's a little the chillest chase scene ever.
It's the most boring chase. The last like third of the movie is really boring.
I was falling asleep. I was willing to watch literally anything else at that point too.
Yeah, they mentioned Spock, and I was like, oh, let's watch Star Trek. Can we watch Star Trek?
I'm up for that. I want to watch the original series movies. Actually,
I've only watched a couple of them.
Really? You haven't watched all the original? Have you seen the one where they save the whales?
Of course.
Thank God. Okay, that's good.
Everybody's seen that one.
I'm just saying. We're off topic. So the best part comes when they find him at the top. They find him and he's about to like one leg up on the bars there at the very top
off the roof.
Yeah. He's going to the Great Hall to find his brother. Which find out that's basically.
I have a flight spell. I am the maze controller. You don't have enough points.
I'm going to give them point for this. Is that instead of doing the movie thing, it's like, no, you're not like that, or no, they actually played with it. They say, no, you don't have enough points to do that.
Yeah,
you don't have the thing like that.
They realize they have to talk to the guy in his own terms.
And he's like, how do you know that? And it's like, I'm the maze. What is it?
I'm the maze controller.
I want to say maze runner.
You don't have enough points.
I'm the maze controller. I'm in charge of this game. Saying that, and he's like,
Pardue, what are you doing? Going to join the Great Hall.
You can't. It's a trap.
I have spells. I'm going to fly.
You don't have enough points. I am the maze controller.
They're at least talking in that thing. You gave him points. They're not just denying him outright.
Yeah.
It's called talking people.
Yes. And I have absolute authority in this game.
Game?
This is real life.
Expect them all to say game.
Is this a game, bitch? Throws himself off. Yeets himself off the trade towers.
DJ, what am I doing?
That's amazing.
He said other things when we were laughing too hard.
I don't care.
Do you want to say your joke now? It might be the best time.
Well, Clayton, I guess one thing we learned after all is magic missile doesn't melt steel beams.
God. Losing it again, just thinking about it.
Yeah, because it's so goofy and over the top. There's like, it's mostly a really, really, really serious film.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
It's not what we were expecting at all.
We're expecting like more campy or more sort of
exactly.
like over the top, where it's like, oh, this is funny bad. We can laugh at this.
Yeah.
It's most like it's kind of boring, and it's like a weird mishmash of better and worse than the actual Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Ish.
And then it has a really fucked up ending too.
Well, I'll get to that. Anyways, continue. Yeah. So, like, and after that, they does a fast forward to what, a year or so later?
I think it's a couple months.
And the three of them are all getting their lives together.
Yeah, they've stopped playing Mazes and Monsters.
Yeah.
They're gonna pursue their careers, and it's like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're going about business and stuff, and despite being a player of D&D myself, I understand the mindset almost like your friend went through a psychotic break and almost killed himself. I can understand that turning you off.
He stabbed a dude in an alley.
To be fair, they never touched on that after him doing it.
No, I assume they were just straight toughs. I assume they didn't report
Nobody
it
gave
to
a
the
shit.
police.
It's New York. Nobody gave a shit about a guy getting stabbed in an alley.
Back in the day, especially, like, it was when it was really bad in New York. But
no, they got their lives together. Like, they're saying to each other, they're driving out to Robbie's place.
Yeah, his
Robbie's
parents'
mom's
place. He's living with his parents.
And they're talking about like one's going to be what did he say, master of industry or something like.
Yeah,
that. I'm a fairly internal guy. I think I'll just be a master of industry.
What was the one guy was a computer programmer?
JJ, I think was.
Yeah, JJ was going to be like a big computer programmer.
And I don't remember what the chick was doing.
She was going to be a writer.
She was a writer.
I don't know what, but
that's fine. Fanfic, erotic fanfic.
She wrote My Immortal.
There you go. Anyways, so they get there, and ladies, actually, another surprise for us was the mother comes out, and usually you think that in a situation like this, a lot of times movie moms.
Right, I should mention this very quickly. Movie mom played by Vera Miles from fucking Psycho.
There you go. Yes, there's that.
Big name.
Usually, movie moms are all like, "Oh, you stay away from him. You're a bad influence." Stuff.
Yeah,
she came out and she literally apologized and said, "Don't worry, you're nothing. This isn't your fault or anything like that." She was very nice about it.
There's some hints in the movie earlier on that he's got some mental illness because he dropped out of school.
I'm starting to wonder if Tom Hanks doesn't have mental illness. He's played a few characters of that now.
He's a versatile actor.
That's fair. That's a good thing. But, no, anyway, so they go out she's always out back enjoying the weather and stuff. They find him just sitting on, like, the nicest lawn and fucking backyard you could ever find. These people, I should mention,
the video quality's terrible.
All four of these kids come from fucking rich, waspy families.
Oh, they're the waspiest motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, very much so. But, like, he goes out there, he's just sitting on the grass out in front of their personal lake or pond.
He's got tennis shorts on.
Tennis shirt, dude.
Yeah, tennis shirt and shorts.
Yep. And they goes, "Oh, hey, Robbie, how's it going?" And everything, and then he's
like,
just,
"Oh, keep Nick, you're alive again."
and he is full on in RPG brain.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
he has gone completely into the realm of the RPG, and apparently he's talking to a therapist, but he's probably never going to come back. And that's what it ends on.
It ends on them just humoring him and going on a small adventure on the property.
Yeah, it's like the narrator from the girl who's probably like the narrator in the book. It's like, oh, we went and we played with him until it was dark, and we slayed many monsters. And, and it's like, wow, that was fucking depressing.
That was depressing.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing was a bit of a downer, had a downer feel to it, but that was depressing.
Because I was expecting, like a cautionary tale, sure. But, like, oh, at the end, they'll somehow manage to, like, he'll turn...
Happy ever after.
Yeah, essentially, is, oh, he gets his life together, or maybe, like...
They pulled a trick play on us, because they almost made us think that he was.
Yeah.
Because they'd seen a doctor about it and stuff like that.
It's like, oh, he's probably going to be fine. You know, nice slow resolution. Nope, he's fucked. He's wasted probably his entire life. He's probably going to be fucked for the rest of his life.
Now, you'll remember
dark.
I wanted to talk about
Yeah. Please do.
I'm going to say this here now. This is a PSA.
Okay.
This is something that applies to D&D, to video games, to any sort of escapist entertainment.
Excuse me.
When people go that direction, the way Tom Hanks' character did, that is due to the person's psyche, their own mind, a mental illness. It is not due to the game, to the system, to anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing for them to get into that system because their brain can't parse the real and the unreal.
There's I was watching. This is somewhat related. There was the documentary Fear the Slender Man, which is about the girls in Milwaukee who stabbed their friend.
Because they figured Slender Man told them to?
Yeah, because they thought Slender Man told them to do it. And
well, that's their first mistake. Slender Man doesn't talk, as far as I know. So
apparently in their version, they heard he has a castle as well in the woods.
Oh, okay.
Which is very fancy. But anyways, in the documentary, they talk about like the psychological state of the girls to sort of like why would they do this? Where would the idea that Slenderman's real? Why would they get into their brains? And apparently, like there's some people, there's like it's basically like a gullibility part of their brain where they're more willing to believe things or less willing depending on the chemical makeup in their brain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that kind of thing where some people are just fucking crazy.
There's sometimes it's just the case that there is something wrong in the mind, and it really
they get attached to something that specifically that is going to make themselves worse, or there's something that's kind of bad to begin with, like dark shit, like Slender Man.
Yeah,
spooky
exactly.
Stuff.
Oh yeah.
Here's an interesting. I'd like to throw a conversation back to the movie a little bit. I don't know if the movie is mostly blaming like the game.
It seems to be much more softly blaming multiple different things than it is hard blaming the game.
Yeah, it's because the three characters, like their live, like their academics are failing because they're too obsessed with it, right? All of them kind of are. But Tom Hanks is like, there's hints of him already being crazy. So I'd say it's kind of like, the game's fucked up a little bit. It's not the best for you.
Yeah.
Like, if you got like academics to focus on, you probably shouldn't spend like 3/4 of your week playing D&D.
No, fair enough.
That's
I spend 1 day. I have 1 day a week where I do D&D.
Right.
That's mostly because none of us can get together other than that day. So.
Working adults generally don't have that
That's
much
just it, yeah.
time for it. Usually it's the younger kids or whatever who can get together for school or
Exactly.
weekends a lot more. But anyways, it's kind of like a half and half. Like, this is a bad, like a game that's gonna fuck you up if you get too into it, and it's also got some bad shit in it where if you're mentally fucked up already. So it's kind of like half and half. Blaming like, Tom Cruise is kind of crazy already, but the game made it worse.
Tom Cruise? You mean Tom Hanks?
Tom Cruise.
I mean, Tom Cruise is crazy. We're not gonna.
Yes, Tom Cruise is crazy. I don't think it had anything to do with mazes and monsters.
Not so much. Just
Scientology.
Yeah, that's a different maze and monster of its own right.
Oh.
Well, what do you think, Taylor? Would you recommend this movie for people?
Oh, shit.
And if so, why?
No, that's very constructive of you, like Dad. Maybe?
Let me move it.
Because, like I said, it is, like, there's some interesting parts, and when Tom Cruise goes full crying, and it's really, really funny. I said Cruise again.
It shouldn't be funny, probably, but we're horrible people, and we found it hilarious.
Because we're making fun of the movie, and we're in, like, the comedic mind, and we don't...
We are, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a couple good scenes where you need, like, the context. Like, when he's like, the couple scenes where Tom Hanks is, like, breaking down crying, those are really funny. The mild-mannered chase scene of where it's like, we went up here, he just went down here.
There's a couple parts where I put in the yakety sax, I think music would be the best. Speed up the walking a little bit.
And there's, like... if you're especially into, like, sort of the Dungeons and Dragons, sort of the nerd culture from, like, the 80s and like, how people reacted to it and sort of in the public consciousness, I'd recommend it. I would. What about you? What do you think?
I would.
I like how we're both sort
provisionally.
of
Provisionally.
Okay.
It is what it is, and it's meant to be, like you said at the beginning, it's the reefer madness for tabletop games. It's meant to be, originally it was meant to be instructive, probably, or preventative warning.
It was sort of like this is a sort of a dark cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale, that's what it is. But now it really should be taken for what it is, campy and out of date, and
it's super, super goofy.
Yeah.
Like, the terminology, especially, for, like the fact they barely understand. Like, the writers clearly were not super familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they knew sort of,
here's the thing. I'm
stuff.
pretty sure the people who made Dungeons and Dragons movie were more knowledgeable of the subject material.
They knew at least one monster.
2, Dragons and the Beholder.
Dragons doesn't count, that's just sort of pop culture. They knew the Beholder, that's specific to D&D and Doom. No,
it's not Doom, it's a Cacodemon.
No, they ripped it off. It's a clear rip-off.
Doom ripped it off from D&D,
yes,
you understand that came first.
Well, obviously, they admitted they ripped it off.
Did they actually?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
They're big D&D nerds back in the day.
Ah, fair enough.
And they have, like,
oh my god, D&D nerds made Doom. And Doom caused
there's like the red ribbons trying to trade.
Got whole boxes of Pepe.
He opens a box, there's just little Pepe images. On the top is the smug one with the cigar. But where the fuck did you leave off? We cut off on our tangent there.
I don't know.
So yes, would you recommend it?
Yes, I would, provisionally, for that situation, because don't go into it thinking it's a movie to watch.
No, it's not a serious film.
No, it is meant to be what it is. So originally, the cautionary tale, and now it's just a campy look back at how people thought back then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's basically Ready for Madness. It's got a little bit of a cult following, from what I understand. So
yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. So yeah, provisionally, as long as you know what you're getting into, definitely give it a watch. I'd say everybody should watch it at least once if they're in that mindset of stuff. So.
It's not the worst.
I might show this movie to the D&D group.
I feel like they would probably enjoy it.
I'm not sure if they would or not. They're younger. They're Zoomers, too. Not Zoomers. They're in their early 20s. But
they're about my age.
Yeah, you're a Zoomer.
I went to school with one, yeah.
Only one of them? I thought you wanted Trent, too.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. But anyways, so yeah.
2-ish, good, maybe mediocre. I don't know what to say.
We didn't rate the other one on numbers or anything.
No, I don't. Fuck numbers. Fuck numbers.
We were going 2-ish. I was like, what, were we rating it now in numbers?
No, like 2-ish good movies.
Oh, 2-ish good.
Kind of,
Neither of these are things that I'd want to watch again anytime soon.
No, I don't think I'd want to watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie again. I think unless it'd be like a bigger group and I'm drunk. I would not want to watch it sober.
Drunk or stoned.
Yeah, either one. Probably stoned would be better, actually. I don't know, it might make it feel slow, because it's a really slow feeling movie.
Well, if the second one, the Dungeons and Dragons movies, probably wouldn't be too bad.
Maybe.
Maybe you'd enjoy it more, who knows.
So,
this is your ideal, so I'll let you be the one to...
Any concluding thoughts? I was going to take a drink of my drink, but I'm on it.
just that person with the empty cup on.
And so what do you think about this little experiment? What do you think?
Well, hopefully people enjoy it. I quite enjoy this. There's a lot of setup to it, as you can see. We're in the opposite end of my room with the my room recording area.
Yeah.
With the table and such like that.
So we can put things on them, including.
We better fucking continue this. We spent money on a fucking table, Taylor.
We spent money on chairs.
We spent table on money, Dad.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, the chairs which we don't even use.
One day when we get, we'll do something.
We'll use them in the movie, Taylor. What movie, you ask? I wonder.
The movie we've been foreshadowing for like 2 or 3 years on different channels.
Hey, it's not our fault the Backstreet Boys reunion tour came out.
That's fair. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Smash that like button and that boy pussy.
Click the bell if you actually want to get notified.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't either.
Personally, I wouldn't recommend watching any of our videos. They're kind of terrible, but we have fun. We have fun making them. It's a good time making fun of things.
Let's review our videos. Videos on Two Tired Geeks. If you got time to waste and just put it on the background, then come and watch us.
That's right. I don't know what camera to look at.
Where am I? Well, sign us off, Taylor.
Peace the fuck out, homies.
Until next time, look forward to it.
Bye-bye.